Hello, friends, and welcome to another installment of Ashley Tries To. Now, in this installment, what we're going to be doing is something that I did mention in one of my last videos. I think it was the last video that I uploaded, which was die day number 2. Die day number 2 and die day number 1, they both were successful, but not as successful as I wanted them to be. We'll be having die day number 3 coming up fairly soon. I've learned a few things that I might have been doing wrong and a few different techniques that should help to correct those issues that I had during die day number 1 and die day number 2 when I was trying to get those mixed colors, same colors or multiple colors in the same skein of yarn. I have some plans on how we're going to do that coming up, and I do want you to stay tuned for that. But today, what we're going to be doing is the other thing that I mentioned in that video, which was taking some roving or comb top and mixing different colors together on a blending board. Now, I didn't have a blending board before, but I do have one now. And then I also did purchase some colors that were already pre-colored from the site on Etsy. Part of the reason why I wanted to do that is because I wanted to start with something that I already know is done and colored. And if I dye my own roving, I may have some trouble with felting. I haven't done roving alone yet. I've only done finished yarn. So I want to hold off on dyeing my own roving until I have the hang of the actual blending process. But we'll also be able to get some great colors from just the commercial stuff that I purchased already. So let me go ahead and get everything set up and we'll get started. All right, so we have all of our materials together. I just want to go over those materials with you to get started. Now, the first thing that I have is actually the colored rovings that I purchased. There's 2 nice big gallon Ziploc bags that they came in. This was purchased from Etsy, so I'm not looking for it to be any fancy packaging or anything. I much prefer purchasing from somebody who says that they're close to local or someone that shows that they are local in the Etsy store. I know that a lot of people are kind of disenchanted with Etsy nowadays because there have been so many like Chinese storefronts that pop up on there and things that sound like they're local or look like they're local and then they aren't actually local. I've actually had it myself where I've ordered something off of Etsy. It was for my wedding, actually. It was a cake topper, and it said it was going to be coming from, I think it was like New Jersey or something. It said it was going to be coming from the United States. But then the order actually came in from China. So there are situations that I have personally experienced where I've been on Etsy, I've purchased something that said it was from the United States, and then it didn't come from the United States. It came from China. So there are storefronts like that out there. So if it's important to you to buy local or buy from the United States or buy from actual small artisans, then there are ways that you can make sure that you're still doing that through Etsy. I know a lot of the artists that are on Etsy, they have been starting to step away from it because of the issues that have been experienced with Etsy and the storefronts having things like AI and things like that. So some people have been stepping away from it because of those things. But if you still do want to purchase online, but still purchase from someone who is a small business owner, there are still some small business owners on there and that you can find them. I usually will look for ones that don't ship outside of the United States. That's one big indicator that it is somebody who is in the United States, because if they're not shipping outside of the United States, then you know that they're not going to be somebody who's already located out of the United States. Now, I know that some of you might be outside of the United States, so that might be a little bit of a bummer for you, but that is one way that you can avoid these types of things. The other thing that I try to do is, if you can message the seller, I know that they're busy, but if you do have any questions that you want to have answered, messaging the seller is also a really good way to establish that they are somebody who is an actual small business owner and not just a storefront that's selling on Etsy. So I did purchase the roving from Etsy, the fiber from Etsy, but the other items I did not. I purchased them from the Woolery. The first thing is the most important thing after the fiber is the blending board. This is the Ashford blending board. I did purchase this from the Woolery. This one wasn't cheap. There are cheaper ones that you can find on like Amazon. But then you're running into the same issues that you might possibly be running into if you are trying to purchase on Etsy and you don't want to go through like a Chinese storefront. A lot of what you're finding on Amazon is through Chinese storefronts, unfortunately. So I did see some very cheap ones on Amazon that were likely from like not that they're not good, but they're likely from Chinese manufacturers. And I wanted to stick with something that I knew had quality and I knew had a reputable company. So I did purchase through the Woolery. They do carry a lot of Ashford items for spinning, for weaving, which we're going to be doing weaving in the near future as well. But right now, this is my new Ashford blending board. I've already set up the peg on the back to help me hold it in my lap. But it's not that complicated, just lots of little tines. I believe that this one is more for finer fibers, but I might be wrong about that. So the other things that came with the blending board, other than the blending board itself, were these two dowels to help me make the Rolags and spin them off of the blending board. These are already, everything on this is already finished, which is not typical for the other Ashford products that I've purchased recently. I have an Inkle loom that I purchased who's all unfinished. I went through and I finished it, and I've oiled and waxed the wood, and we're just waiting for that to dry before we can start using it. But these dowels and the blending board itself are actually finished items, so they don't need any additional sealant or oil or waxing or anything like that. Then the last item that came with the blending board is the brush, to the small brush to brush down any of the fibers that we're blending together. So I have all of my items and all of my materials ready. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get started on blending a little bit of some colors together. And hopefully it comes out as a nice Rolag. Okay, so to start out, I'm going to use these two colors here just to kind of get an idea of what we're doing. This is going to be like a little bit of a cotton candy-ish color, like a little bubblegum cotton candy that I'm going to mix together. Now, I'm not using a video to show me how to do this, what I'm doing is I'm just going to be using the instructions that I received with the blending board itself from Ashford. So to start out, we're going to start with the purple. Let me find the end. Here we go. And I'm just going to pull a little bit off. I believe that this is merino that I got. And I'm just gonna sweep some fibers through here. And just kind of brushing it onto the board itself where I want the colors to be. And I think I messed up a little bit here. This is my first time. So I think that the fibers are all supposed to be in the same direction. So I'm going to use my brush here, and I'm going to brush them down in to the blending board and see if I can get them to go in a similar direction here, just to get started. So when I am brushing across here like this, I'm not really pushing down very hard. These teeth look very intimidating, but they're not sharp. They're just, there's a lot of them, a lot of them. So it's not sharp. It looks like some medieval torture device, but it really is just some fine teeth. Not any sharper than you would find on something like a dog brush, like a slicker brush for a dog. It's very similar, very, very similar. I believe that I've read online about some people using slicker brushes in this capacity because they are so similar in their design to a blending board or to cards, to hand cards. I haven't done any hand carding. I do know that essentially hand carding is using two large brushes like this together in a similar fashion. I do know that there is a video that I've seen online where they use two hand carders to create Rolags like this without a blending board. But since we have our blending board, we are going to definitely use it. So just gonna keep moving through with the colors that we want to put on here on this first Rolag. Now, I'm not expecting this Rolag to be pretty or the best one I've ever done because this is going to be the first one I've ever done. So please be kind and gentle. I don't know if I'm even doing this blending board stuff correctly. It seems like fairly straightforward as to how you do it. Okay, so now that I have this purple in here, I'm probably going to do a little bit more purple. I don't think that this is enough to do a full Rolag, but this is just to start off and to get our colors starting to blend together. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off some of this pink and do the same thing with this. Now this fiber I ordered, it came with about, I think it was 2 ounces of each color. So I have 2 ounces of all of these colors to work with. There's, I think, 10 colors each together in the 2 bags that I had. And just continuing, I can already see the mixture of the color that I was looking to get. And I'm probably going to layer it with this purple and this pink, and I might even add in another color as well. I know I've seen on some of the things that I've watched before doing this, where people were using drum carters, and they were mixing with like tinsel and stuff like that. And I don't know that I'm ready to work with tinsel yet. So we're just going to stick to this nice merino fiber, which is something I have already worked with and something that I've already spun and that I know that I can spin. So that's part of why I picked this fiber. I know I can spin it. Okay. And we're getting through this fiber, this merino fiber. And it is a small staple, so it is a little bit harder to blend through, work with. So as you can see, this is a process. So I'm going to continue to build up the fiber in this blending board and pack it down here. And then once I have a good amount, I'll bring you back and we'll remove the Rolag. All right, so I've got some colors blended up here on my blending board. I went with about 3 colors just to start out and see how it works out. I just really pulled it off at the staple length. I don't know how much this is actually. I'll weigh it afterwards, but so this is going to be the first time I'm going to be taking the Rolag off. Now, this part is the part that like really makes me a little bit nervous. Now I do have my dowels here. So the first part is to pull a little bit of the Rolag out, which I see do have already some pieces like coming. Oh, sorry. I do have some pieces that are already coming out here at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And to do it, it says to stretch the fibers between the 2 dowels to kind of create the start of the Rolag. So start with the stretch out. Let's see if you can see this. Now just curl it up, pull all of those pieces out of the blending board. Okay, so this is my first Rolag, you guys. Let me see if I can take it off of the dowels. It's all right, it's coming out very slowly. But once I get this one dowel out, the other one should just slide right off. There we go. This is my first Rolag, everybody. All right, so I'm going to be able to spin with this from the center, spin from the center, or the fold, I guess is what they call it. So this is going to be my first spin of a Rolag. Once I get more made up, we're going to go ahead and we'll start spinning on with the Rolags. So that'll probably be an additional video, maybe. I don't know. We've already done spinning. We've just never done spinning with a Rolag. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes from there. But I'm going to continue and use my blending board, and I'm going to make up some more Rolags. All right, so that was a successful mission, a short and a sweet one, but a very successful one. And I'm glad that you were able to come along with me for that ride. As always, if you've enjoyed this content, go ahead and give me a like or a subscribe. I'm going to continue to be making Rolags here. You may have noticed that there was still some fiber stuck into the board after I made the first Rolag. I believe that is normal. I'll look it up and a little bit more, but I believe that is normal to have that happen, to have some fiber stuck in the board still after you've made your Rolag. So I'm not really worried about that or thinking that that maybe not didn't work as well. It might not have worked as well because that was the first layer of fiber I did put down. So it could just be that I was just not doing it as well, or maybe I packed it in too tight. We'll see. I'm going to keep working on it. I'm going to keep experimenting, making some more Rolags, and see where we go from there. I hope you've enjoyed joining me today, and I hope you will join me for the next one as well. Thank you.